right. Welcome, man. This is the Grind 329 podcast by Lonza. This is episode number 6, season 2. And we got a special guest in the building. We got my man, Daysun Civil, in the building. Let's give him a round of applause.
Right. Yeah.
How you doing, my man?
I'm doing great, man. I can't complain at all. Doing great. Loving life. Thank
That's
you for
awesome.
welcoming me to this podcast.
It's all good. No, thank you. I appreciate you being here. And it's an honor for me to have you on the podcast. There's not oftentimes where you meet people that are like yourself that is ingrained into the community, and you do a lot of things for students, you do a lot of things for people, you do a lot of things for your family, and it's a great honor. Again, like I said, a lot of times we don't get a lot of people giving you your flowers about what
Right.
it is that you do from day to day. So I just wanted to have an opportunity to have you on my platform and give you your flowers face to face because you deserve it, and I appreciate what you do.
Thank you, man. I truly appreciate that.
All right.
Ah,
So the purpose of the Grind 329 podcast, if y'all don't know already, the purpose of it was to allow people an opportunity to grow, to be inspired by people in my, what do you call it? I guess these are my friends and my associates and my people that do great things in the community. And so what I want to do is get them in front of the world because a lot of times they do these things behind the scenes. You never know about the things that they do. And I thought it'd be a great opportunity to like just push these people out to the forefront because they do great things for the community, and this is something that we need as black men, something that we need as a community. So I want to always offer positivity out there to the community. So the Grind 329 podcast, right? It came about because there was about 2 times in my life that I was burnt out, and it was they have this saying that says you always should be grinding 24/7. And I found that when I was grinding 24/7, I burnt out really fast. And those 2 times that I burnt out were really bad for my health, really bad for my mental, really bad for my psyche. So I decided that, you know what, I probably should break this 24/7 thing down to a different denomination. So 329, 3 days, 29 hours. The way that works is 3 days, 29 hours you're grinding, you're doing your thing, you're working, working, working. You're putting everything you can out to whether it's your music, your business, whatever it is you got. And then the rest of the remaining time that you got, you want to take that time to rest, recuperate, and put that time back into yourself and put that time back into your family and things that are important to you other than doing work all the time. So it gives you an opportunity to reflect, and just then when you come back the following week, you can get right back into it because you'll be well rested and ready to attack the day. All right, so enough about the Grind 329 podcast. We Y'all know what it is, but I want to offer to you all a couple things about Mr. Daysun that you may not know. So for you all who will be joining this podcast by watching it live on YouTube or Facebook, Instagram, all that, you'll kind of see what's on the screen. This is Daysun's biography that he himself wrote for his Spotify page. So if y'all have not checked out his music or his creations, he has some music out there on Spotify, and you can just simply go to Spotify and type in Daysun Civil. That's Daysun Civil, Civil. So Daysun Civil is a music producer, an educator, and a content creator with over 20 years of experience. Rooted in his Christian faith, Daysun's music blends inspirational storytelling with high quality production across genres like hip hop, trap, boom bap, gospel, R&B, neo soul, trap, and R&B and soul, as well as gospel hip hop. Through his company, Sun Civil Media, he empowers creators to make transformative music that leaves a lasting impact. So you can also, if you have inquiries about how you want to work with Daysun, he also has his email there, and he'll probably share that later on in the podcast of how you can get in touch with him to work with him on that front. Now, enough of that. Um, we'll give Daysun an opportunity to tell you all himself about him and about what it is that he wants to offer and share to the world. So Daysun, you got the floor. Whatever it is you want to talk about yourself, please by all means, here's your opportunity to big yourself up and knock it out. Go
All
for it.
right, all right. First of all, I want to thank you once again, Lonza, for giving me the opportunity to be on your podcast. When you first told me about the structure behind the podcast and the theory behind making sure that you're not burning yourself out, I thought it was amazing because I burn the midnight oil, and sometimes I realize it takes a toll on your body, and it will burn. You'll be burning the candle at both ends, but a little bit about me. I'm a music producer. I'm a father. I'm an MC. I'm a husband. I'm a follower of Christ. I'm a pastor. Um, Not only that, I'm a teacher. I'm an educator, and I'm just someone that just loves to help people and help them get to the next level. It's a lot trying to navigate these different spaces and these different things. I used to always say I wish there were 10 of me so I could give one specific role to each person, and then we come back and collaborate with one another. So I try to give my personality in everything I do. I try to ensure that I'm helping people because I believe I'm here for a purpose, and the purpose is to help and bless others. Help them get to the next level. I often tell people that I feel like I'm like a ladder. And people are like, a ladder? What you mean like a ladder? I said, well, if there's a fire, the fire department pulls out the ladder, and then the men climb on the ladder, and then they take out the fire. Okay. So in my life of being an educator, my goal is to learn as much as I possibly can, and then give that to the next person so that they can get to the next level. So back in the day, I used to tell you about standing on the shoulders of giants.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of take that literally. But that's just a little bit about me. Originally from South Carolina, born in New Jersey, raised in South Carolina, lived in Maryland for many years. Always tried to do music. It was the plan A till it became the plan B, but God turns things full circle. So it comes around and you're able to do music again, especially independently. Um, I think that's all that the brain cells will try to give about myself. So that's just a little bit about myself and some things that I like to try to do and trying to help people. Yeah.
Awesome. There's three key things that popped out when you gave your synopsis about who you are that jumped out at me. Professor, pastor, and I would like to add one more thing to that pot. Chef and entrepreneur. Because I know that in some of our conversations we talked about there was an opportunity where you were chefing for people and cooking for different events in the church and all that kind of stuff. So tell me about your how does being a teacher, a pastor, and a chef all roll into one?
I think how it all rolls into one because you come to realize that you're not just here for yourself. We're here to serve others. We're here to ensure that others understand life better, feel like they're not alone, help people along this journey. And some experiences that we go through is so that we can give information and tutelage to other people. So, with being a chef, you got to take that time in, you got to prepare, you got to get the ingredients, you got to cook. And when you cook, you have to present it a certain way that looks good to the people that you're presenting this food to. You
Mm-hmm.
got to make sure you season it right. You got to taste it. You don't want Chef Ramsay coming in and say, "You donkey, did you taste it, you donkey?" You don't want him doing that. So just making sure that it tastes good, and I'm always about cleanliness too. Some people aren't. Uh, but in that, so and then with a professor, you're serving as well. You're learning information, and you're giving information, and you have to find out how people learn so that you can give that information to them in a way that they can digest it. Like I teach cybersecurity, so when I'm teaching networking, I try to get people to realize this concept here: E equals MC squared. And
Mm-hmm.
I taught that today. I said to my students, I said, listen, check this out. I said, just like we have our bodies and the heart, all the veins and the arteries by the heart are really thick. I said, just like on your CPU, if you turn on your motherboard, if you turn your motherboard around and you look at the traces on the motherboard, you'll see that the wires near the CPU are they're very large so that data can flow faster. And then I said, and look at the highways. I said, you can look at some highways, you can have 3 lane, 2 lane, 4 lane highways. I said, the larger the highway, the more bandwidth you have and the more cars can come on the highway. So
Mm,
it's trying to find a way to help them visualize so that they can learn better. You know what I mean? So that they can understand, because you got to make it relatable. Even when you're teaching. I'll ask questions like, what insects do we emulate with certain things that we use today? So I'll say the needle, and what insect is like the needle? And then somebody will say a mosquito. I say, yeah. And I said, what about helicopters? And they think for a while, and they'll say, um, what will they say? They'll say some bugs, and I say, no, it's the grasshopper, the way the grasshopper lands. And then, of course, when we say camera, it's the eyeball. So it's trying to find things and get them to look at life, but look at themselves as one, the greatest creation, and that everything emulates us as humans. So networking just emulates how we network with one another. Then, in terms of what did we say? We said music, not music, but we said cooking
pastoring,
and
chef,
pastoring.
and then professor.
And pastoring is the biggest one of all. You really, your whole goal is to service the flock. It is to give them knowledge, give them education, give them support, help people be the best that they can be, and understand their purpose in this life, their direction and their guidance in their life, and help guide them. I found that more people will walk with you if you treat them right. If you show them that you're not there to use them or manipulate them or anything like that. So it's service. Even like when Jesus was about to go make that long walk, he took time to make sure he washed his disciples' feet, and he showed them that I am the greatest servant because I served you. Now go out and serve the people the way I serve you. So I approach everything kind of like that. That this is a service. Music is a service, whether
Mm-hmm.
people believe it or not. It's a service. It's not this self-fulfilling thing that everybody thinks it is, because you learn later that it definitely can be fleeting. So that's kind of how I relate it all as one. It's all a service, and the better you are at serving, the more you'll be rewarded for your service.
Awesome answer. The reason that I kind of put loop those three things together is because I kind of, when I was thinking about what this podcast was going to be about, I know obviously it's going to be about showcasing you and who you are and what you do, but I was just thinking about, when I think about Daysun, what do I think about? And so those three things just pointed me to the direction of living in purpose.
Hmm.
Now, a lot of times we're just living, so we're not even thinking about whether we're in our purpose or we're just doing things on purpose. We don't think about the why of things. And I think that the great thing about you is that you are living in your purpose because you know exactly what it is that you're here to do, and then you're doing it in all levels of your life. And so that's what's awesome about you, is that you're multifaceted. You are, you're one of those people that you can have a conversation with. You are relatable and understandable to a point to where there's no judgment. We just are able to have a conversation, and whether we agree, disagree, we can also take something from it. We can learn something from it. So I'm always learning something from you. And if y'all take a look at his social media, the same thing revolves into it rolls into his social media. When you're looking at his social media pages and you're looking at his YouTube, he's teaching you, he's showing you, hey, this is what I know, this is the information flow, and it's here. You either take it, use it, don't use it, but it's there. So it's another one of those things where his leadership stands before himself. So my question for you is, cyber.
Hmm.
How did you get into um, teaching cyber? How did that actual subject of cyber? How did that influence? What influenced you to go into that actual mode of teaching?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for the observation. I truly appreciate it because sometimes we do things and, we're trying to be our best, but sometimes we don't realize what other people see. So, first of all, I want to say I appreciate that. Um, how I got into cyber, I typically tell my students this story. As when I was young, when I was a child, I would see my father, and he had a CB, like a police radio
Mm-hmm.
scanner, and he would talk to the truckers, breaking 99, stuff like that. Hey, good buddy. And what he would do is he would have his soldering iron and he would have his aluminum, and I could see him soldering. So right then and there, he had. I didn't know he at that time. I didn't know he went to school for to be an electrical engineer. At the same time, he was a Marine. He could take cars apart. He could put them back together. He could fix the bodies of cars and things of that nature. He took a Granada, an old beat up junky Granada, and made that thing look brand new. He took I think a '78 Cougar. He fixed that up and made it look amazing. He took one of them Sanford and Son trucks off somebody's yard and made it look amazing.
Wow.
So I think it kind of starts with that. Um, so then I had uncles who gave me their radios and things of that nature. So I would take them and mix them all together so that I could make music and do like pause button stuff. And then as a kid, I was inquisitive, so I would take. They were mad at me because they was like, "Why is he popping all these doggone games open in these remote control cars?" Because I had to see what was inside it. So that was one thing. Then I went to school for cybersecurity, but I felt I was bad at math because I was like, I'm not doing this calculus. I'm not doing calculus or anything like that. Because I was just like, this is too much. So I went to business management. So, but I struggled when I was trying to get jobs. I got my MBA, all that, and I would definitely struggle trying to find jobs. They would always tell me I was overqualified. So, but I did I worked for a number of different places, and then I was always helping people with software, training them in software. But it was that's not what the job was about. But
Right.
that's what I was doing, training them and all this different stuff. Until one time I was out of work, two master's degrees out of work, couldn't find a job. Everybody's saying you're overqualified. And then the Maryland workforce had this program where they would give you a training class.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, this was and it was supposed to be 3 months, so they condensed it to 1 month, and I passed the A+. But it was still a hard way to go. And when I say a hard way to go, I mean I would do like I did manual labor, installing meters in people's homes, and that was a hard job. Oh, what's my man? I forgot his name. He saw a picture of me and he said, "What do you do, man? You work in a volcano?" Because it was dripping in sweat, and I had a fire retardant suit on that summer. I worked at Amazon one time, and I shouldn't say it, but that was a hard job. I'm just gonna say it that
Oh
way.
yeah, I believe it.
Oh my goodness! And then I joined a teaching program, and this teaching program, they literally, at going through it, they literally told me that any class that I try to teach, I would be a disgrace and a disservice to any class I got in.
Wow.
So this is me leaving Amazon, going to them for like a month
Mm-hmm.
to get this. But here's the other thought. Here's the other thing about it. I talk too much. And so in talking too much, I would express my views. I'm like, y'all come in here thinking y'all gonna save or da 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 da. So they didn't like me. But lo and behold, my wife, she worked for Johns Hopkins. So what she did one day is, and I didn't cry. I just went and I talked to her about it. I was like, this didn't work out. And then I told her what they said. So she took me to the school to drop off like binders and folders.
Mm-hmm.
So when she took me to this place to drop off these binders and folders, she mentioned to the principal, because the principal was like a friend of ours from church.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, you know how I never talk or brag, but my wife was like, he got 2 master's degrees, and uh he was in the BCTR and they didn't make it. And she was like, well, let me see your records and bring it to me. So lo and behold, I'm sitting in the barbershop, and I get a phone call, and then it says, you want to teach? And I said, yeah. So I started out teaching third graders, and that was crazy.
Oh, I can
Teaching
believe
third
it.
graders. I mean, these kids were fighting. These kids did all kinds of things, and two kids didn't like each other. One kid kicked another in the chest. It was something else. But then I had another friend, and he went to a church. His name was Devon. Shout out to Devon. I went to a church. He wanted me to come there and just, hang out for a while. So we were there. Really, he was like he wanted people to see real men. So he was bringing like some of his brothers to this church.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the same time, I was trying to find a job, couldn't find a job. We had a conversation, and he said, "Well, why don't you try my guy here who's about to become a principal?" I talked to the principal, and the principal was like, "Yeah, I can help you." He said, "I can't help you right now." He's like, "I'm just moving to this principal position." And then he looked at my resume. He said, "Your resume looks good, but your resume could be a paper tiger. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You could look good on paper and then be something else." So I'm sitting in the barbershop once again, and my friend calls me and he says, Talk to my guy again. So I talked to him and he said, "So what I want you to do is I want you to interview up at this high school." He said, "When you interview up at this high school," he said, "I think you're gonna get this job." He said, "But just be you." He said, "Go up there and make a change. Don't be like everybody else." I said, "All right, cool." And um, then I went up there. I got the job. I interviewed for the job, and I got the job, but it was some old mess with one of my old companies, so I was afraid to give my references. So I finally got my references together because my wife said, "Why don't you use your references from your other job?" I said, "All right, cool." So I went, used those references, got the job. They told me to come sign my contract. So I walk in to the Baltimore City Public School System. I walk in, I'm getting ready to sign my contract, and guess who I see? The same lady who said you'll be a disgrace and a disservice to any class you teach in.
Wow.
And I said, and she said, "What are you doing here?" I said, "I'm here to sign my contract." I said, "Ain't God good?" You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So, because if I was in that program, I would have to pay them money
Mm-hmm.
for each year that I was in their program, so that they could recoup helping me. But I circumvent that. So enter in through back doors. So this is how I got into cybersecurity. And I started teaching. Basically, it was like a CompTIA class where I would teach kids how to take the computers apart, put them together, how to create USB cables, the questions that are going to be on the exam. And we started learning about networking and all kinds of things like that. So it started off there. Then I started branching into other. Now, I didn't go to school for education. I didn't go to school for any of that. The door just opened because Baltimore City needed teachers. But at the same time, I took the precautions, and they warned us you have to take 4 classes, one about curriculum development, one about behavior management, and things of that nature. So I took those classes, I passed those classes, and I got my teacher certification, and I taught for 3 years.
Wow.
And at the same time, I heard about a program that the college was having that would allow you to teach A plus, Net plus, and Security plus. And I signed up for that. And it was the same Maryland workforce program that I went through like years earlier. And then that's when I started teaching for that. I've been doing that ever since. And then later on, they asked me to could I teach on the other side, the continuing not the continuing ed side, but the for credit side. So
Oh.
I started teaching ethical hacking. I taught Linux at another college. I also taught at Towson University for a while. I was just learning, and the doors just kept opening and kept opening. And I got to thank God
Oh
for
yeah.
this. And one of my friends said, because when I was first working for Baltimore City Public Schools, when I transitioned to another job, One of my friends said, "How did you get into teaching?" I told him it was God. And he said, "I don't want to hear that. I want to hear how you did it." I said, "Dude, it was God. I went to a church, and in my church, there was a friend there. And the friend, we had a conversation later, months later, about why can't you find a job? You're educated." I said, "This ain't, I told him, I said, people don't help. I have to find out things on my own." And he helped me get to that position. This was God. I didn't find out until years later that this guy was he was one of the highest accountants there. Not only was he one of the highest accountants, at one point he was like taking over the finance and stuff of that. I never knew this about him.
Wow.
All these years we knew each other. So this was a blessing from God.
That's
So
amazing. That's amazing.
yeah.
So let's give a round of applause to God.
Can I also say this though
Go
as well?
for it.
All these doors didn't open until I made a decision that I was going to tell the world that I love God.
Mm.
I mean, now people may think this is material, but I'm the MPC. I kept asking God for it, the doors open. Monetization, I kept asking God for it, the doors open. You know, I'm gonna give the other side of this as well. Meeting good people, asking God for it, meeting people like you. I asked God for this. So God opened the doors. But I'm gonna tell you the other side. Once God gives it to you,
Mm.
it's up to you to maintain it.
That's
It's up
correct.
to you to keep everything working right, because you can lose it just as fast as you got it. So once he opens the door, watch how you walk through, and watch how you manage yourself and manage things and people, because when if you manage something well, he'll bless you with more.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I remember too, um, reading in the Bible where, or reading it in the Bible and hearing a couple sermons where, um, they, I guess it was, maybe it was, I don't want to misquote it. I think maybe it was Job, or it was someone that asked to increase their territory. And
Hmm.
so I always remembered, this is my interpretation of it. I always remember that when they say that when you ask to increase your territory, not only if God bless you to increase your territory, that you're gonna have to maintain that territory that you ask
Hmm.
to for that increase. So, you know, that thing they say, be careful what you ask for. Make sure you can handle what you're gonna get when you ask for it. So I like that. I like that. So exploring, right now we're exploring your background and in talking about your life. I know you briefly mentioned your father, that your father was a Marine, and so I wanted to dig just a little bit, not too much, not too deep, but I wanted to dig into, if you want to talk about it, some key people in your life um, that you looked up to that got you to the point to where you are right now.
Okay. I could say that I want to first say that me and my father didn't have the best relationship, but he did have qualities that were admirable. You know what I mean? And not, back in the day, dads, they were a little rough. They could be something. But I would say like his work ethic. He taught me to work. You know, not like I teach, and some people they just want to get over, and I'm like, no. I taught that ain't nobody going to get it for you. You got to go out and get it yourself. And
Right.
so he taught me how to work. So I did look up to him for that. My mother, I definitely look up to her because she loved her children. She fought hard for her children. She showed us this. What my mother did is later in her life, before I think we were like around 16, I was 16, 17. She decided to go back and get her education, and she went and became a paralegal. You know, she didn't. She finished and stuff like that, but she eventually took another career path. But that did something in us as her children, where we said we were going to go out and we're going to get education as well. So we knew that education could be an outlet for better things. Now, I will say that as I've gotten older and as I'm teaching, a college education is not the only form of education.
Correct.
There's trade schools, there's apprenticeships, there's mentoring, there's more ways you can get out here and learn. Some people are self-made, self-learned, millionaires, and they figure things out that way. But that opportunity, or that drive, seeing my mother do that, sparked something in her children, and all her children are college educated. Another thing, just because I'm college educated, I don't try to make it like I'm better than somebody else or anything like that. That was just the path I took, you know, because I have views about grades and stuff like that, and I always tell my students that your grades mean nothing. It's about how well you can process information and communicate. Your communication is everything. So that, and musically, man, it's a plethora of people. I couldn't even begin to imagine. Um, People like Barry White, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, Prince, um, Michael Jackson, Big Daddy Kane, Rakim, KRS-One, Cool G Rap. You know, the normal laundry list. Even though people give him a hard time saying he's the cap master, Fat Joe,
Yeah.
they like Fat Joe, DITC, Gangstar, DJ Quick, Ice Cube, NWA, Public Enemy. Can't forget Public
Mm.
Enemy. Um, Slick Rick, and in the fun dance rap stuff too as well of that generation. I even like some stuff now, but as far as people that inspired me, like producing, that was Dr. Dre, DJ Premier, Large Professor. Woo! I can't. My first rap name was Professor D Styles. And then you see people like Styles P. You're like, oh man, I would have had a shoot
Yeah.
similar name, but that was like some people I'll look up to. And I had a college professor who was really um he helped me a lot. His name was Dr. eBay. Gave me confidence. Told me he's like, you can't take my statistics class, you'll fail. And I was like, no, I could do it. I could do it. And I passed. And then it was no, he was like, you can't take my economics class, you'll fail. And I was like, nah, I could, give me a chance. So I took that class. So it was people like that I like the teachers that people were scared of.
Hmm.
And then next thing you know, we became cool because they saw I had the drive and the passion. I was a little militant at the same time at that time
I
though.
bet. I bet. Man, that
So
statistics and statistics is something else. My wife had to
yeah,
help me. My wife had to help me with my statistics
yeah.
because I just wasn't getting it. I'm good with a little bit of math, but when you start going to calculus and statistics and
Oh,
probabilities and the
yes.
numbers and the letters and the things start coming out of the sky stuff. Oh yeah, I'm out of there.
If
Anything
you
you
gave
got?
it to me now, I would probably like, what is this? Um, but earlier, it just everything started clicking when I
Hmm.
went to college. I was not this Math was my worst subject. And then when I went to college, the light bulb came on. I don't know what it was, but
It was meant
hey,
for you. It was meant for you to get to where you are right now. So music, we now we're gonna get to the good part. Now I know
mm,
your life is an awesome thing. That's you, and that's what makes you you. And before we can even get into music, that is what matters the most. But this thing that we enjoy to mess with, this music game. So that we
yeah,
let's talk about this music game really quick.
all right,
So with music, right? Do I want to start it this way? Okay, first. Let's talk about your start in music. How did you get your
okay,
start in music? Let's talk about your start in music because I know before you produced, you rapped. So let's talk about your start in music. Let's talk about some things about how you got into that.
okay. So let me start off by saying that my household was a musical household. We always listened to music, whether it was Sundays, more inspirational music. We would dance around, so we listened to soca, calypso, dance hall. We listened to classical music. We listened to reggae. We listened to R&B. We listened to soul. I think I said soul. My father
Hmm.
loved the blues and older music, so he would listen to people like Little Walter and Smokey Robinson. He loved Smokey Robinson, but the blues was his favorite. and he always had some down home blues or some other. And at that time I was like, what is this mess? I
Right.
don't want to hear this. But that's one part of it. And especially being a kid, you would go around banging on pots and pans and stuff like that. So it was something that was just musical that I loved about music. At one point, New Edition would have their music, and me and my brothers and sisters would go outside, and I would be the lead vocalist and the drummer and stuff of that nature. And then next thing you're getting older, and as you're getting older, my sister would come back from New Jersey, and she would have WBLS tapes, and you would hear Eric B. and Rakim, you would hear Biz Markie, you would hear all these rappers, you would hear Kid and Play,
Mm-hmm.
EPMD, man, you would hear what's the guys, girls I got them locked. You would hear a Supernova, I think it's Casanova and Super Lover Red. I could be saying it wrong. If I'm saying it wrong, y'all correct me. But it was just she would come home with videos from Video Music Box and all this other stuff like that. And I sat there one day and I said, I want to be a rapper. And then Big Daddy Kane came out with Ain't No Half Steppin'. And I went and I wrote all his lyrics down and I recited all his lyrics. So in sixth grade, and I didn't know a lot. Everybody was talking about Easy E and Two Live Crew, and I didn't, my household kind of protected me at one point, but we run out and we
Right.
find it. We listen to it. So, you know, I um I I kind of like wrote a poem because there was a competition because I started out with poetry.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll get back to. Let me go back to the story. So I'm sitting in sixth grade, and I'm asking. They're asking us, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And I said, I want to be a rapper. And then everybody was like, "A rapper? What you gonna do? Rap packages?" Everybody messing with me. And then they saw how I spelled it. I spelled it WRAPPER. And they was like, he want to be a rapper? And everybody's
Mm-hmm.
picking on you and stuff like that. So, um, but I got a little older. There was a poetry contest at the local college. I wrote a poem. It was called Olympics of the Mind. I wrote it and I came in second place. I was like, oh, I'm the man. I know I'm good now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I just went from poetry to writing raps. I didn't have even though my uncles gave me stuff, all I was doing was pause button loops.
Mm-hmm.
And I came to find out that a lot of people from that generation
That's what we
were
did.
doing pause button loops.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like the start. So after that, I just started embedding myself in rhyming and trying to get better at rhyming. Till like even taking at that time it was an answering machine, taking that and recording it to the answering machine, making tapes and sending it to the local radio station.
Oh
The
wow.
kids to the diss it. But it didn't make it because the sound quality wasn't good. It's coming out of an answering machine. But that was the start. So when I went to college, oh man, I was in the radio stations, and the college radio station, pause button loops, looping it up. And I had a good friend named Lynn, and we would battle each other with our pause button tapes. And that kind of got us to start producing for each other. Then I eventually met my guy Shelly. Shelly made some dope beats. He had the Doctor Rhythm with a one of those rolling keyboards,
Mm-hmm.
um, and he just made amazing beats. And he had that voice like not chill. He just had a dope voice because it was low and kind of gravelly, And like we met because we had friends that brought us together to battle, and then from battling we just became cool and we started making records together. But that's kind of the start of it. Oh, I forgot I was in band. I played drums in band as well. But that's kind of the start of how I kind of got into music and rapping and stuff like that.
Yeah, that band is a key component. Band, chorus, and writing poetry is one of the three biggest things that most producers and artists our age you find we all came from that same background. So
Yeah,
that's pretty cool that no matter where you live in the world, we all in our generation we kind of did the same things.
yeah,
So that's dope.
definitely.
Um, So let's talk about instruments you play. How many instruments you play? Now let me name the ones I know. I know that you play drums. I know that you play keys, and I know that the MPC is an instrument. So I named those three things are instruments that I know you play. Are there any other instruments that you play that I hadn't listed?
Nah, that's probably it. You know, I started out with the drums. I was trying to train myself in to play the guitar. I had a bass guitar, but I traded that in for something. Maybe I think it was my first. I traded that guitar in so that I could get my first pair of speakers and a MIDI keyboard.
Okay.
So yeah. So but those are the only instruments that I play.
Okay. I thought you I was pretty sure you was gonna come off like, oh yeah, I play the flute or the
Nah, my sister played the flute. She
or
played
the
the flute,
trombone.
and my other sister played the trumpet.
Oh wow, trumpet.
And if I talked about my brother, he played the hands because he's the fighter in the family. He's the one that shoot.
The one you don't mess with.
Yeah, nah, don't start it with him because he'll finish it.
What's your favorite NPC?
My favorite NPC?
Mm-hmm.
Um, wow, that's a loaded question because each NPC that I've had has a special place.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite NPC before I got the X was the 4000.
Okay.
And the reason why is because it was clean, and not just that it was clean, you could make it dirty if you wanted to. So that 4000, you could layer your samples, and you could start. That's where I started actually making sample packs because I started layering samples. At that time when I got the 4000, everybody was like, "No trap, no trap, no trap." But accidentally, I found out how to do like the drummer boy rolls.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when you would lit 16 level your snares, and then you might do the note repeat, and then like
Mm-hmm.
da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I was like, oh yo, this is how they doing it. So I was making beats for like the kids in the church and stuff like that, and having them rap. So it was crazy. And I got to go here. People want to try to make you corny when you talk about church and stuff like that. Don't make me corny because I'm not one of them corny guys. I feel like I gotta say that because I hate it when it's just say you scared go to church. It's a lot of people that used to do. If you go in the Bible, Moses he
Oh
got
yeah.
down, David got down. There's people that got down. So and people will protect their families if they have to. Not saying I'm not trying to. I hate when people get on and then they misrepresent, but I just sometimes I just don't like. uh, People want to make it like because you praise God, you sucker or you're weak or something like that. Jesus wasn't no punk.
Oh
I'm
no.
just telling you right now. But I don't know.
And
I had to go
yeah,
there. I'm
I
sorry.
get it. A lot of people, you think about it, in order for you to go to the church as you are, you have to have, most time you either grew up in it
Hmm.
and then you went out in the world and you came back into it, or you went through something and you came in it. So you got to think that most people that are in the church, in churchy, most times have went through something.
Yeah.
And like one of my old pastors, he said he was a, he was a pimp, he's a womanizer, and
Hmm.
how he came to God was he was messing with some man's wife, and the man came home and put a shotgun on him and pulled the trigger
Yeah.
right in his chest, pulled the trigger, and the gun didn't go off. And he said, I guess, I guess from the gun not going off, he was praying. I guess he was
Yeah.
praying that, hey Lord, if you let me live from this, I will never mess with nobody else's wife again.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna turn my life over to you. And yeah.
That's the thing. Like I'm gonna tell you right now, the hardest thing in life is serving God because
Mm,
there's things that you want to do,
right.
and situations that you want to do that you have to refrain from in
Mm-hmm.
order to respect Him. And it's so much stuff going on in the world. There's so many things that people are doing that they know they shouldn't be doing. And we were not put on planet Earth for some of this wickedness that's taking place. There's too much wickedness that's going on. and somebody got to step up and represent for something else. I'm not talking about no ethnic cleansing or nothing like that. I'm just saying people have got to step up and represent a certain way because it's too much. I'm sick of. In order for my child to be cool, they got to be negative. That sounds stupid.
Right.
In order for me to fit in, I got to be negative. You know what I mean? Who somebody? Oh, Chris Rock has a joke about the college kid graduating college and the man coming out of jail. He said, "We'll throw a party for the man coming out of jail," but the person that graduated college would be like, "What you want from me?" I was
Right.
like, go on, college boy. But anyway, it's it's just crazy. I
Indeed, it
couldn't help
is. Nah, it's all good. No, speak your truth, speak your mind. That's what we're here for. Because people need to hear those things said out loud. Because a lot of times the things that are not said that need to be spoken. So I appreciate you being strong enough to say those words. So, any future plans on streaming? I know that I know you got the YouTube thing on lock. You
it.
getting the views, you getting the subscribers and all that stuff. But any future plans on like streaming on a larger scale?
Yeah, I want to start going more. So it here's one thing I realized, and this may rub a couple people wrong, but that's not my attempt. Um, I noticed that some when you get into this and when you want to do things a certain way, the community that you serve sometimes won't support you. Like you'll have a remnant, you'll have some good people, but sometimes it don't work out. Like for to be transparent, I went and got the MPCX, and when I got the MPCX, I didn't realize that life situations would happen. You know what I mean? And with these life situations happening, I still got to pay for the X.
Mm-hmm.
But I got to take care of my kids in college. I got to make sure my wife is doing well, my kids are doing well, support them. And it just seems like people never tell you that when you get monetized, it starts over. You
Right.
know, you
Right.
get to the mountain, you get to the mountain to see this deep valley and a huge mountain. And you like, I got to go through that again.
Right.
So, you start working, you start chugging, but you learn. And what I've learned is that it can't be about me. It's not about me. You got to find out how people consume content, how people what they want to watch, what they want to view, what's going to entertain them. Sometimes it can't just be about you and what you want to give people. You got to find out what they want. And when you find out what they want, then you can better serve that community. Some people some people don't want to see you for 10 hours sitting in front of a drum machine. Some people want to see quick clips of something that's going to bring them out of their problems.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in college, it was Mary J. Blige's My Life album. And that album helped so many women. You know what I mean? Not only did it help so many women, dudes was riding in their cars bumping it. So it just made people feel good. So what I'm realizing, because I've been focusing more on shorts, is I'm realizing that people got questions, people want to be motivated, people want to feel good about themselves. And sometimes when you have a conversation with them, whether via text or through a video that they can comment on and you comment back, once people feel that connection, then they'll support you with a like or like a sub or something. I don't give there's some trolls out there, but I've learned how to handle the trolls. You want to talk about harassment? Harassment,
Block.
putting you out there, block, get you up out of here. So but the biggest thing about it is understanding and building a community. So when you understand what people want and you can build that community, then when you look at your analytics, you can say, "Oh, it dropped off here," or "What did I say here at this point that I lost people with?" Or you see a video going up and say, "Oh, people want to correspond." I got a chat. I got a one that's growing right now because it's about older MCs or older artists, and it's over 300,000 views because people are like, I shouldn't have to get to 40 and have to stop doing music. So Styles P is talking to Torre, and he's like, that's like a bad mindset, because the mindset is that when you have to reach a certain plateau by the time you hit 40.
Mm-hmm.
And I like, nobody asked Johnny Cash to stop singing at
Right.
40. Nobody asked Willie Nelson to stop singing at 40, or Dolly Parton. But when it comes to hip hop, now I do think the content has to grow. You can't just, and I think that's why we like the Auditorium last year by Common and Pete Rock. We like the Nas series. We like all of the old school rappers that came out and gave
Mm-hmm.
us, some good content. So that's kind of what I've learned. Find out what the people want and feed the people what they want. But you have to know how to gauge what you can and can't handle, because some things might be too much. Some people only they'll see a trend and they'll start saying the same thing in the trend.
Right.
Like, for example, I put a video out about Macho Man and Ultimate Warrior, and I was saying this is Sticky Fingers and Fredro Starr. All
Mm-hmm.
people talked about was these two guys doing cocaine, and I was like, okay, enough. So I had to put it on pause. But yeah, those are some of the things. But so in terms of streaming, yes, I do plan to stream again, and give people some content that we can build a community off and answer questions and talk to one another, because I love that. I love the connection of the community.
And I'll add on to that. Find out what your community wants to see from you,
Yes,
because what they want to see me do may not be necessarily what they want to see you do, and what they
absolutely.
want to see from everybody else. So everybody has their own lane. So figure out what it is that people like from your lane, and
Hmm.
that's what you key into, is that okay, people like to see me do such and such, or like I have a niche. People like the S2400.
Hmm.
So try to lean into the S2400 a little bit more, because a lot of, and when you look at analytics, the S2400 videos do way better than maybe like, um, I don't know. I don't want to pick another machine, but oh, I got it. S2400 videos do way more than my Apple iPhone videos do. So I know that okay, they don't want to hear the Apple iPhone content from me. They want to hear me talking about music and making beats. So find out what your community wants to see from you, um, and then rock that way. So what I want to do with you is I want to play a game with you.
All right.
The name of the game is called Lyrically Correct. And I want to play this game with you because I know you are really good with lyrics. You are really good with artists and names, and your brain remembers and recollects all that stuff from way back then, and mine don't. And I enjoy playing this game because this is something that my brain just can't wrap its mind around. But in this game, I think I'm pretty good with it. But for you, this is what I want to
All
do
right.
for you. For every answer that you get right, you will hear the cash register sound, right?
Okay.
And that means
Okay.
that there's going to be some monetary value that's going to be placed on that card that you get correct. And then I'm going to invest that monetary value into your podcast community, your merch, or whatever. I'll find a way to put that money into your pocket. All right.
Okay.
And then for everyone that you get wrong, you will hear the sad trombone sound. So,
Yeah.
all right. So I will tell you that there's only been one person that's done very well, and he's a good friend of ours. If you hadn't watched
Yes.
that podcast with DC Carson,
Yes.
DC Carson did really good. All right.
Shout
So
out to DC.
shout out DC. We're gonna have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wait a minute. I thought I had 11. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, we got 10 questions, and then we'll have a bonus one to let you make the money back if you lost any money. All right.
Okay.
All right, I'll let you choose. First question I'll let you choose, and the rest of them it's gonna be all me. First question: would you like R&B or would you like '90s hip hop?
Hmm. Let's do 90s hip hop.
All right. First question. All right. According to Sporty Thieves, what kind of girl is frontin' like she can't say hi?
Oh my goodness, Sporty Thieves. For him, it's
They
not
had a song. They had a
friend.
song called something.
Um,
It was a song where they went against TLC with no
yes,
scrubs.
I remember, but I cannot remember what.
Nathan.
Dang, how could I forget Sporty Thieves? It's not from us. I don't know.
10, 9,
Like Cheap
8,
Trick.
7, 6, 5, 4,
I know it's something we
3,
use in popular culture.
2, and 1. No, you got no answer for it?
No
Guess.
answer.
Take a guess.
Uh, if there was scrubs, if men were scrubs, I cannot remember. And I just watched that Ski Beats battle. Um,
All right. The answer is no pigeons.
Pigeons.
The
God,
girls was pigeons.
pigeons. Yes.
All right.
Uh,
All right. All right. Next question. How many earrings did LL Cool J want his girl to have?
at least two pair. Yes. Bamboo earrings with at least two pair.
All right. That card was worth $5.
All right.
All right. All right. Next question. All right. In Give It To Me, what does Jay Z say to do with the Prada blouse, Gucci bra, and Fifth Mark jeans?
So to take it off. Yeah.
Take it off.
Yeah. Take it off.
That card is worth $5.
All right.
All right, so you have $10. You might be taking me to the bank today. Let's see. Next question. Nathan from Boys to Men wanted to know how she could love him and leave him, but never do what?
Oh my goodness. How could she love him? I gotta be honest. I didn't listen to Boys to Men music like that. How could she love him and leave him and never love him and leave him? I don't know. Never cheat on him. You got the
The,
music man stumped.
the answer is say goodbye.
Say goodbye.
Say goodbye.
Okay.
Isn't it
Okay.
isn't it hard that when you know the songs and you
Yes.
know it when you hear the songs and you listening to it, you know what it's saying, but then when you like have to recollect in your brain, you're like, wait a minute, what? I
Oh,
can't remember. Hey,
I'm losing my music status.
this is old age. This is our 40+ brains.
Yes.
All right, next question. Hey, I get to make some of my money back. In Pretty Brown Eyes. Oh man, you R&B. You
Oh
said it.
my
In
goodness.
Pretty Brown Eyes, what does she keep telling mint condition? This is multiple choice. All right. A, to call her. B, let's chill. C, don't call her. And D, her time is always taken.
Oh my goodness. Oh, her time is always taken. Yeah, because I can hear it. Her time's always
Good job. Good job.
taken.
That card is worth $5. So you have
All
made
right.
$15. All right. All right. Next question. What couldn't Missy stand?
She couldn't stand the rain.
That card was worth $1. That was easy. $1. So you have made $16.
All right.
All right. Next question. How many pounds did Big Pun lose?
Before he died, he lost 300.
Oh well, let me rephrase that. In the song, he references that he lost weight. So how many
Oh,
pounds
he
did he
says he
lose?
lost 400. He said, I just lost 400 pounds. It's
Is
so
that is that your
hard.
final is that your final answer?
Uh, mm, 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 mm. Well, I want to say 300. I think it's 400. But
It was 100 pounds.
he lost 100 pounds.
A
How could I?
hundred pounds. Because that's
It's been a
remember.
long.
I remember. You know why I remember it? Because right after he said, "I'm trying," he said, "I lost 100 pounds. I'm trying to live something." He died right after that.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's so funny. After you said it, now I can hear the lyric.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh,
Good job though. Good job. You. I mean, it was in the hundreds, so you were on the right track. All right. Next question. Um, and it's all about the Benjamins. What was Diddy's three-course meal?
I know he said spaghetti. It's like spaghetti, linguine, and veal.
Is that your final answer?
Spaghetti, fettuccine, and veal. Something like that.
Which
Ah,
one? The first one or the second one?
spaghetti. Not linguine. Spaghetti. Spaghetti. I think it was spaghetti, fettuccine, and veal. Yes.
I'll give you $5 for that. So you have made $21 so far. All right, we
All
got three
right.
three more cards.
All right.
Three more cards, and we'll let you off the hook. All right. According to the locks, what is the key to life? I know
Oh,
you know
come
this
on.
one.
That's money, power, respect. Yes.
I'll give you $1 for that
All right.
card. All right.
Mm,
All right, $5. This card is worth $5. All right, let's see which one card I want to give you.
all right.
Um. Okay, $5. In Lady, where are the two places D'Angelo thinks they saw him and his girl? This is gonna be a hard one.
I know it was at the health food stand and the grocery store.
Final
At the health
answer?
food stand and the grocery. Yeah. Oh,
You only missed it because it was the liquor store.
the liquor store.
The liquor store and maybe the health food
The health
stand.
food stand.
Yep. I didn't know. I
Oh,
didn't recall the health food stand. I've
yeah.
probably been singing that wrong, but I knew the
Yeah.
liquor store, but I didn't know the other part. So good,
Now I
good,
can hear it.
but good.
Food stand. Oh, now I can
You
hear
was
it.
there. You was right there. All
Yeah.
right. And the last question: how do I want to do this? Um, cause this is gonna be easy. Do we want to double or nothing? Do we want to do make your money back? All right, I'll tell you what. For $5, double or nothing, or you can choose to make your money back from the cards that you got wrong.
Mm,
I ain't gonna tell you how many cards you got wrong.
okay. Let's do let's do double or nothing.
All right. All right, double or nothing for this card was worth $5, so you would win $10 if you got it. I ain't gonna say if you get it wrong, I'm gonna take the money away because that I'm gonna invest the money back to you. So, all right, that would suck, wouldn't it? Be like, yeah, I lost all the money.
Everything's gone.
Everything's gone.
Yeah.
No, we ain't gonna do that. We're gonna invest back into your business. All right, the last question: is he gonna get it right or is he gonna get it wrong? I think he's
Oh
gonna get it
boy.
right. It's gonna be easy. All
Okay.
right. Where was Biggie going?
Back to Cali.
Let's give a round of applause for our guest.
Yes, yes. Shoot. Easy no beef.
So you made a total of $32 in this
Thank
game.
you so much.
So
Thank you so
I'll
much,
figure
Lonza.
out where to give you your $32 at. I'll probably find your most valuable video on your YouTube and um, give the $32 to that video because I
Oh,
don't know if y'all know that or not. That when you um, give those cash dollars to those videos, it makes the dollar amounts of those videos of how many views he got. It makes the dollar amount of it goes up on the video. So
thank you, man.
that
I
will help
appreciate
him. Yes, sir. That'll help him on his monetization to where now if his video is making a dollar, a dollar per ad, and I put $32 to it, then it will bump it up to be maybe $3 an ad, and
that.
so he'll
Okay.
make more money off of that of his video where he's getting the most views. All right. Well, thank you, Daysun, for playing the game. You were incredible.
Yeah.
You did a great job. You only got 4 questions wrong out of 11. So that was really good. Really, really good. So final
But that,
thoughts. Final thoughts on the podcast right now is any final thoughts that you want to provide to us, and then let us know where we can find you on social media, and then again, like I said, any last comments that you want to make before we go.
man, I want to thank you for this opportunity. Um, it's good to one pod with somebody and get a laugh out of it as well. So I think this is a great, amazing pod, and I really hope it blows up and that more people participate and just come with that camaraderie. I also want to thank you for investing in Sun Civil Media as well. I appreciate that. Um, it's great to meet people like you, with that got a good heart that want to help and bless people. But don't play with Lonze. He'll show you quickly he's not the show you quickly he's not the one to mess with.
I
Um,
appreciate that. I appreciate it.
but nah, I'm just happy the direction of the channel. I think it's opening doors now. I want to say people don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone because in my process of giving up, I stepped out of my comfort zone and I did something and it worked. And with it working, it's opened the door for me to do more things that I want to do. So now I have ideas I can spring off because the community's communicating with me. And
Hmm.
when they communicate, then I can share what I want to do. And a shout out to Joe Fire too, because Joe Fire is like, yo, I like the content that you used to do. Can you like kind of go back to that as well so that, you know, we can still get some of that content. So, I'm realizing that once you get a core base, you got to support that core base as well. So I thank everybody for supporting Sun Civil Media, especially getting here. We have it doesn't show it, but we have amassed like 4 point. What is it? Let me go to it really quick. I think it's like 4 point. Let me go competition. It's like 4.8 million
Wow.
that we have amassed in views. So please.
That's awesome.
Yeah, 4.8 million. We're at 8,500. I never thought I would have that many subscribers. I'm there because there are other plans that I want to do. So I thank everybody for watching, commenting, and being a blessing. And I just want to be a blessing to others as well. Yep.
Awesome. Where's your let us know where we can find your YouTube page.
Okay. My YouTube is you can look it up with SCMESD Sun or look up Sun Civil Media. If you look up Sun Civil Media, you'll find me there. On Instagram, I'm Sun Civil Media. On YouTube, on TikTok, I'm Sun Civil Media. Uh, Such as my Gum Road, you can look up Civil Days Music or CDMESD. You'll find me there, or SCMESD. Civil Days, Sun Civil Music and sound design. I just use the E as an N. In all those platforms, either look up Daysun Civil or Sun Civil Media, and you'll find me there. X and all that too. I think that's about it.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you. Again, this has been Lonza for the Grind 329 podcast, and Daysun
Yeah.
Civil is our guest today. We want to give.
Let's give a round of applause for our guest.
Yes.
Yes, we want to give a round of applause for this man doing great things out there in the world.
The Grind 329 podcast can be found at Buzzsprout, Spotify, Apple and Google Podcasts, and all streaming DSPs. Catch up on our latest podcast and get up to date. If you like to sponsor the podcast, contact us at zay2001@gmail.com.
And all of Daysun's information will be on the liner notes of the podcast once the podcast drop. And so you can check all of the DSPs, whether you are on Apple Podcasts or you're on Spotify Podcasts or Deezer or wherever you consume podcasts. That's where this podcast will be. This will be season 2, episode 6 of the Grind 329 podcast. Again, I thank y'all for watching. I appreciate your time and much love to you. And we will catch you on the next go around.
All right. Peace, everybody.
Peace. We out of here.
Peace.